the calls more than once. I
Yes.
could have
Yeah.
been collecting call even though you run the ad.
Yes.
My last caller that actually called on our program, mine again, I say in our program because
Yeah.
this is a part of the Justice for All party.
Yes.
This is our campaign site. Right?
Yes.
However, she said that she can't afford full fee. She can't dinner
Yes.
after she says she's an old age
Yeah.
person.
Yes.
Old people can't eat enough no more because you don't abuse the system.
That's right.
However, I
Yes.
want to actually go down. She
Yeah.
vote.
Yes. Yes.
You should have actually called, get her name because she said she voted for the coalited government.
Yes.
It's always saying that they voted for the coalited government when nobody changes their vote from the last election. Everybody voted the same way they had voted
Yeah.
before, and it's only because the
Yeah.
the six party collated. That's why they get the administrative
Okay.
seat.
Yeah.
They don't have the
Yeah.
election as election because they had the coalition.
Yeah.
Because everybody voted
Yeah.
the same damn way
Yeah.
they voted ever since. Because PPP had not lose the election, but they lose the seat
Yes.
of the administration. The next thing about it, she said that she had to pay light and water, so, but she didn't say she had to pay internet and
Yeah. Your parents said that.
and no, she didn't say that, but she has that. Because you said you know her, and she had rice field, and all kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Auntie actually wants to say. What I want you to say, instead of asking Rahman and anybody else, right,
Yeah.
which party they come from,
Yeah.
I'm telling you I come from your party.
Yeah.
And if you don't do the restructuring, and if you don't go with the people them who voted for your party, I spoke to you yesterday. You know that I spoke to you yesterday.
Yes, yes.
I was on the motorbike.
Yes.
Please get that woman off of my television station for
Who
free.
was that?
I am saying this to you more than once.
Yes, it's
This
true.
point, this slot is given to the opposition, the leader of the opposition.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true.
The
Yeah.
spokeswoman
Yeah.
for the opposition,
Yeah.
the leader of the opposition. And if he can't get his ass off his high heart
Okay.
to come to our station
Okay.
for our free time, let him go get free time like how he normally get on Channel 28.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Mr. Green,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Green,
Yeah.
we
Sir.
share the same birthday party, right? That woman just not said that she didn't know that Granger is a political party person. Mr. Green,
If what?
that woman just said that she know that and belong to a political party, and you was right there, and you from the PNC, to be born and growing up by somebody. We know the PNC from long, even though the man from Alici Rice just said that the whole thing that PPP got was a part of Mr. Height, two best presidents in the country, Burnham and Height. Jagan had a vision to make us better, but he didn't actually have the hands or the time to get it through. However, Burnham had it, and he was giving it to us. Height take over and bring a lot more stuff into this country, for the people of this country. And lo and behold, I'm not a racial person, but I don't like to too much of African people because most of the African people have not been developing themselves, even though they was there. Indian persons not develop themselves. They have money conscious mind. So they do business, they go into business, they get themselves up.
Okay.
But Mr. Green, you should tell the woman why she was talking, because you had the opportunity to talk and she could have heard. Mr. Arthur Granger David actually is in the PNC for most of his life. Tell her, and he's a brigadier and he came from the army. So even though PPP has said it more than once that he was in the army when they had rigged election. I don't know when it went rigged and when it went rigged, but if they know that they had rigged election, they mean they were rigging too. Because thief don't like see when a next thief walk with a bag.
Okay.
So now I know that, Mr. Green, because we actually come from our by stuff.
Yes.
This
You're
is
chief.
not what we're talking about. And actually need to sit back. She's old already. She's
Okay.
from cholesterol. The bank account ain't that much because rice ain't working too much.
Yeah.
Look, Alice man actually saying that they actually help these people. Their hundreds of millions of dollars is still in the court and they can't prove it because they scandal it.
Yeah.
They actually did so much for this country, and she more than one person saying that
Okay.
Jackie that they was getting better in Jack the attendant now, but not sharing and smoking weed and actually dying out because of cocaine and smuggling cocaine and all kind of thing no more.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I didn't want to dominate the program,
Yes, yes, yes.
but Brigadier Granger. Brigadier Granger was an old activist. He came back to this country a few days after independence in
Yes.
1966. I remember that very clearly. He, Joe Sig, and some others. But I think what my friend Mr. Durga and others don't realize when he extols Hoyt of 1988, you have to see Guyana in the context of the wider world. Guyana is a small country, we're less than 1 million people, you know, with tremendous resources.
Which makes it easy to fix.
Not really. If you just listen to what I'm about to say.
But
It's not easy to fix something small in the context of the world in which we live. Burnham had to face the Goliaths. Burnham had to face a vastly divided world of the Cold War. And people don't understand or recognize the impact that the Cold War had on all small countries. In Africa, in Asia, there were coups.
I agree with that.
That's
I agree with that.
That's the reality.
But you see,
When
the thing
listen,
is
no,
that
no,
there's
let
not
me
enough
let me
information
say
in
something.
Hold on.
When Burnham died in August 1985, he died just at a time when Gorbachev was dismantling the Soviet Union and the Cold War was beginning to recede. Had Burnham been alive in that environment, Guyana would have been on top. I don't care what anybody says. Burnham had to deal with a hostile Cold War. When he nationalized the government, the major industries, he got Jagan's support. The man from bauxite said, "We see you don't sell a thimble full of bauxite." He had to go to the east to get scholarships for young people to deal with the violence that was going on in the world. And even the business people don't understand what the Cold War meant to Guyana, a country of less than 1 million people. Ask the fellas in Ghana. You had coups in southern Africa. You had in Latin America. And that was, look, after, I don't want to talk too long.
Okay.
After 3 men met in Yalta just before Roosevelt died, Stalin, Roosevelt, and Churchill, they met to divide the world. Roosevelt understood the magnificent work that the Russians did to halt the German aggression. He appreciated that. Roosevelt died on the 12th of April, 1945. He didn't see the end of the war. When Stalin had to deal with the big 3, Churchill had to pack his bags because the election results took 2 weeks in England, and he lost to Attlee. So the world changed because Stalin had to deal with 2 new conferees, Truman and Attlee. That changed the world.
By the first Labour government.
Yes, that changed the world. So when they suspended the Constitution in 1953, and Jagan and Burnham went to appeal to Attlee and the Labour Party, they said, we're not in that story. Because communism was the instance of people not doing things or doing things. But I don't want to talk about it because people need to understand it.
no, but although if we
Hold
don't
on. Call you in the hello.
Hello, Mr. Sharma. Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah, good afternoon.
All the first issue I like to deal with.
Yes.
That liar who disrespect the
Which
police
lie are you talking about?
and could be Kaila, you could walk in the court with 12 or 11 liar.
Oh, right.
He was any ordinary person, either go on remand or go on bail. Tell me why that damn liar could have never ever even go on a bail. I think both the government, the previous government and this government by time law and hide and all kind of thing. And the same thing that he and Barcelona who are going to be friend around Japan. Why you can't go on, why you couldn't go on bail or nothing? Secondly, Mr. Hamilton Green, what you have to say with inquiry with Rice and King, I would like you to shine some light on that because you was in there for a very long time. You know, because at times we like to know that what's going on. So we'd like you to shine some light
Okay.
with Mr. Rice and
Thank you very
and
much. Thank you very much. Thank you
Green.
very much.
Yeah.
Call, you on the air? Hello? Hello? Yeah.
Rush
Mr.
thinking.
Yeah, let me.
I can't shine light in a room of darkness. As I said before, I'm not involved in city council. I don't know what the charges are.
Okay, yeah.
I hope justice will
Okay,
prevail.
okay. Thank you very much. Call you, hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
on the panel.
Yes.
I could recall during 1994, I
Yeah.
think,
Yes.
I had a problem and I had to end up in your program with my ex-wife and then 2 little children without things to eat. You could recall?
Yeah, I can record, yes.
Good. We always back your policies,
Yeah.
right? When that woman claimed that she voted for the coalition,
Yes.
and you said that speech that you had there just now
Yes.
was a generous one.
Yes.
And the people there may could recall, they say when you go to campaign, they say you said that you would have been electrocuting them
Yeah,
instead
yes.
of give them
Yes,
electricity.
yes, yes.
And nobody vote for the
The same
scale.
man, we
You could recall it?
Just for all.
No.
What?
Now,
lady.
I
the
don't think
She
it
picked-
was-
minister that we had in finance then, in the 23 years, isn't that the current minister we had here now,
Yeah.
at this present moment?
Yeah.
When they were campaigning, said that the VAT is too much, wasn't that same minister of finance went with the PPP?
Yeah.
Isn't that same minister now?
That's what he said is true. Yes.
Isn't that same
Yes,
minister now
yes.
doing the same thing?
Yes.
And therefore, if minister doing this thing now, therefore somebody sabotaging somebody. Because in those days, they all said that the 16% was too high, and this and that.
Yeah.
And then the campaign trail said that they're going to bring it down. But when you keep the same rat in the same hole, how could you get the same amount of cheese? We got a problem
I made
there.
that point earlier.
We
Yeah.
got to destroy those people, where we keeping them from. And then we campaign on our youth to give them a life. And then we bring back a man who will tell me that we must use black sage. When he don't enjoy all the wealth we father-in-law leave there, now they're coming and cut off people want to
Okay.
because his salary thick. And we got people coming back in this country and pay some fat salary, and we got
Yeah.
people right here who do the same job. What experience we got to run a water company?
Okay.
Yeah? But they
Thank you
say
very much.
water we
Yeah,
can't
thank you
drink.
very much. Thank you very much.
We got a problem with
Oh,
that.
okay,
We got
good.
to bring,
Yeah.
we got to use the people, because when Mr.
Okay.
Gabriel said we didn't got no black
Okay.
people with education for the ambassador was a big
Okay,
thing.
okay, good.
And then you come in and prove the same point by bringing these people back for do what?
Okay. Thank you very much.
I made a pointer group
Yeah.
at the St. Andrews reception 2 nights ago.
Yes.
If they can bring to me evidence that, look, John Jones lived in this country,
Yeah.
is qualified to
Yeah.
drive a car, to fly a plane. We brought in Mary Smith, who was not here. I'm prepared to raise the matter with the president at the highest level. It is easy to say those things. We had a problem with the nurses in the 60s and 70s. We brought back nurses to do some work. They couldn't cope because their training methodology was different. We are looking, as far as I know, I can't speak for the government, for people who have got experience abroad. The president travels, the prime minister travels, and when they meet people, I would expect they would examine their credentials. Right now, I had a friend in Trinidadian, who wants to come and operate in the oil sector. He's 71 years old. I looked at the CV,
Yeah.
but I couldn't recommend him because we have people half his age here who can do the work.
Yeah.
So if there is evidence of people being brought in to take over jobs that are available to, they must bring the evidence, call names, and give the credentials.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Gillo, is Mr. Gillo spread propaganda. I electrocute people.
Who's that, Gil?
Gil the chair. She spread propaganda.
Gil Teixeira?
Gil,
But you allow her to do that.
No.
Because
That's about 10, 15 years
She's
ago.
on the station continuing to tell
No, but-
lies and fabricate.
No, but
I
what,
never said that.
what CN need to do is whenever she makes her statements, have someone with a credit
Yeah.
to answer them.
Yeah.
A democracy, free speech
How are you
is.
how are you going to do that? They control the entire program, like what we're having here now.
All right.
And then there's a phone-in program, Mr. Hampton. People phone in, and she doesn't allow
What program
people
it is?
It's a phone-in program. The PPP is being given here every
give them free
Thursday.
free
He gives
program.
them a free program.
program.
Yeah, but
We as rice farmers are asking him to give us that same program, and you won't give us.
no, but listen to me. The essence of democracy is being vigilant. If the program has that dimension, as you suggest, you then arrange a team to call in
Yes.
and say what it happens here
But she
tonight.
doesn't allow people.
No, she can't. She can't
to cut
stop calls
people off.
coming in.
A gentleman who called here just now, who's a member of the Justice for All Party, he complained bitterly that Gail Teixeira takes him off when he criticizes her.
But if CN has that information and there's empirical evidence, he has a right to say to Gail Teixeira and that group, look, you are not doing what we expect you to do to be fair, and then suspended.
Mr. Green.
On the work on, we go work on that soon, right?
well, you have to have the evidence.
Call it, hello? Hello, call it, hello?
A quick on this day to share this with you.
Yeah, yes,
I noticed you got a program still for APNI.
yeah.
Ask Mr. Granger came one day and sit down on your
No,
program since
Granger
he
made it
was
several
president.
times. No, don't say that. Granger made it several times in my station. Several times.
Since he's president.
No, but
Yes.
he never come.
No, he went there and when he was the president, he went in on here one time. One thing,
But he got somebody else doing the program and he don't come and face the nation. So
Send the job they were doing.
with Gail Teixeira, you continue let it talk.
But Jagdeo does the same thing.
Yes.
Jagdeo doesn't come to the program. He's high and mighty.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
not
but
president.
with respect to Mr. Sharma, Mr. Granger never appeared on one program since he became president.
Mr.
He went one.
No, but he's president, so he ought not to be doing that.
Yes.
This is a party program. The PPP company is a party. If the,
Call in here, hello?
you can't expect the president to come to this kind of
Hello?
program.
You're there, please?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling in concern with the Kendron and the water problem.
Yes.
Water. Since Monday, we didn't have any water.
Yeah.
Did you put it
No.
GWI?
One of the problems they have.
Oh,
Hold on, let's hear the lady.
Well, so-
Let
Did
me-
she put GWI?
Yeah.
The last time she called here, same
Hello?
person called.
Yes.
Yeah, you report the matter to GWI?
Yes, the
Yeah.
neighborhood people them reported the GWI.
Yes,
but
yeah.
What the problem is? We can't get water since Monday. Not me alone, the whole area.
Okay.
They did tell you what the problem is.
Huh?
The GWI say what is the problem.
No, they say something, like, me don't really know because them they say nothing and we not get like even the truck them not come and give us any water, so nobody has any water in the area.
The Kendron?
Yeah, in the Kendra. By way part, Mr. Nas, they used to live.
I know the area very well.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much.
The Kendron.
Call it, hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
I am calling in connection with Princess Street Lodge.
Yes.
The road, it's in a deplorable condition.
A long time.
Mr. Sharma, I hope and wish that you can bring your camera coming from Mandela Avenue right through.
Okay.
Taxi doesn't even want to bring you now. The Minister of Infrastructure promised that they're going to do this road. They're waiting for the longest while. And up to now, what is wrong to the people in Princess Street?
Okay.
Let me tell you, we got to deal with that dump site over there.
Okay.
This is tall so much.
Okay.
Men are going across the bridges, and we're scared.
Yes.
And even Mr. Hamilton Green should know what I'm talking about, because it seems like everybody forget the people in Lodge.
Okay.
I'm asking, please, Mr. Minister of Infrastructure, come and pay the residents of Princess Lodge a visit. Have a walkabout in Lodge, and you're going to see how we're suffering.
Yeah,
It
sir.
rains
Could you give me a phone number, please? Your telephone number.
light.
Give me your telephone number, please.
Pardon?
Telephone number.
Princess Street Lodge, Mr. Sharma, between Mandela and St. Vincentian
You
Road.
want to ask?
I
Please
know.
bring your camera
Call us back after the program, and then
I want your phone number and
and we will
everything.
tell you when we'll
That's
come
where
there.
we'll
That's all
come
we're
there.
asking
Okay,
you.
Mr. Chairman, I call you back up, and I wish that the residents in Prince hearing me,
Okay.
they can back it up right now
Well,
because
you
we are all
organize them, and
suffering by.
then
Yeah,
we will
thank you
call
very much.
You organize them, and we'll call you and then tell
Call
you.
it, hello?
Yeah, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah, yes.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Green, this
Yeah.
is one the call that normally call on Thursday.
Yes.
Mr. Sharma know that this is one the caller, and Jaipal Sharma know that I call on that program many a times. But I'm saying it was given to the leader of the opposition. That 1 hour program, call-in program. It was given to the leader of the opposition.
That's true.
And President Granger now was the leader of the opposition, and he used to get off his high horses every Thursday
Every Thursday.
and get
That's right,
right
that's
there
right, yes.
and used to call people and talk to persons.
Yes.
I'm hearing now that somebody's actually using his program. It's not his program anymore. It's Facing the Nation, which is actually done by the spokeswoman for the now opposition,
Government.
administration,
Yes.
which is done by Malika.
Malika
Right?
Ramsey.
Malika, yeah. However, the president don't come to press conference. He got to hold conferences. He's the president.
Yeah.
He holds conferences.
Yeah.
And Jack, they was saying that he didn't hold any. So I don't know what person actually calling in and talk about. When we talk in politics, if we talk in politics, let's go on that level of understanding of politics. Not because we want to talk as bottom house gas.
Okay.
Bottom house gas
Yeah.
is bottom house gas. This is a conference
Okay.
the president has to hold.
Okay. Thank you very
Mr. Sharma,
much.
we're still talking, but
Yeah.
Granny.
Yeah.
And it's after that we actually do Arch. Please let her show me
Yeah.
in what accountability this administration used the government or taxpayer money to do any one of the 2 arches that was done. None had been used from the coffer of the consolidated
Okay.
fund, and taxpayer didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
It was gifts. One from the East Coast is from the East Coast
Yeah.
persons them there,
Yeah.
a gift. One from right for going and entering for Agricola, it is a gift.
Yeah.
Please start properly, Granny, because you're going to use more money.
Okay.
But now not only cholesterol,
Okay. Yeah.
but stress.
Okay.
That's part of
Thank you
it.
very much.
You continue keeping people talking about VAT. Yes, they had wanted the VAT to reduce. Keep people talking, you hear that saying it's 16%, 16%. It's 14% persons.
Yeah.
It's 14%.
Yeah.
You want it to reduce, so it's now reduced 14%. Yes, I understand. I'm living in Guyana. I know that this is high too, right? But let me go to Canada, see how much VAT they're paying. Let me go to Barbados, let me see how much VAT they're paying.
Yeah.
It's far way lesser than most of the countries abroad. You check it. You got family. Money coming in every day month for y'all. Check it and you'll see how much VAT they got paid.
All right, good. Thank you very much.
Money.
Yeah.
So,
This program I gave to Mr. Carbon, this program, 1 hour program was given to Carbon. Then Granger take it over. Mr. Carbon give the program to. Then Carbon give it to Granger.
so the point is, Mr. Sharma, is that the program is given to the opposition leader. Mr. Jagde, what he keeps saying, and he was going to bother you all the time until you make some changes, because he's a member of the Justice for All party. He is making a demand. He called 5 times on this program to ask you as the leader of the party to write to Mr. Jagde and say to
Can't make that kind
him,
of decision right now.
huh?
Can't make that kind of decision right now.
But 5 times he called you.
No, it doesn't matter. You can talk what you want or things. That is my business after that, right? Good. Call it here. You're on here. Please. Go ahead, please.
Afternoon, Mr. Shah.
Good afternoon. Yes.
I would like to ask that caller that
Yeah.
is comparing Guyana with Barbados
Yes.
and comparing
Yes,
Guyana with
yes.
Canada.
Yes.
We could meet
Yeah.
them people a level.
Yes.
Are we in those people status?
Yes.
We're getting there.
Good, we get in there, so we got work to go there, but we can't say compare ourselves with them at this time.
Oh, call it. Thank you very much. Call it. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Concerning the share issue, the name of that program is Matters of Public Interest. That
Yeah.
program has changed too from the leader of the opposition.
Yeah.
So the caller was calling and saying that the program we're giving them now is a new program. It changed too.
Yeah.
So this one the share is doing is Matters of Public Interest. We shall not let the bully you to do nothing that you want to do.
But given to the leader of the
Yes, yes,
opposition. Given to the leader, not Gail Teixeira. Given to the leader of the
Leader.
opposition.
It's matter of public importance. That's the name of the program, Mr. Rahman.
No, but it doesn't
The
matter.
program was to Carbon, and then Carbon go to Granger.
Public importance.
I don't know what else.
Gail Teixeira is not
Gabi
the
is the
leader
program
of the
steady.
opposition.
Yes.
She's not the
Mr. Chairman, don't
leader.
let the bully you, man.
Yes.
You transform.
Yes.
You own the place. Thank
She's not
you.
the
Thank you.
leader of the opposition.
Call you in the hello. Hello?
Sharma.
Yes.
And all for put all for anyone could press a job deal. None of it come.
Well,
He drink to the was sorry?
yeah.
Yeah, drink to the.
Yeah, the few.
Call the hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
You are on TV?
You must check the number.
Call the
of
hello?
calls.
You on the air, please?
Check the number.
Yes.
No private calls.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Green, what do you like to say finally? Yeah.
I like to say that
Yeah.
we've put our act together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am hoping to have a démarche with some members of the government
Yes.
so that they can recognize
Yes.
whatever mistakes and
Yes.
missteps we've made. We're in a human society. And people who try to make a comparison must know that no matter what this coalition may have done, making mistakes, you can never come to the level of corruption and what the society was brought to between 1992 and 2015. We destroyed hundreds of young men and women. We created an environment where crime was the norm. What we need to do is to go back to our churches, our mosques, our temples, pray for forgiveness, and move on. And secondly, to get our young people to understand more about Guyana. In fact, tomorrow, the PANAF movement has a retreat
Yes.
at 3 o'clock at the Merriman's Mall where Rashley Jackson will be talking about Ethiopia and some other countries. Our young people need to understand the context in which Guyana emerged at independence and what we need to do. I have faith that our young people help to turn this country around.
Ram, your closing remarks, please.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma, let me read from your manifesto. As a closing remarks. One of the things that you said there 10 years ago is about free education.
Yes.
Remember that?
That's true, yes.
It is supposed, Mr. Burnham was the only president who gave free education to this country.
Yes.
So you're fulfilling your demand here is what Mr. Burnham has been actually doing.
Yes.
So you're consistent. The other thing is about agriculture. Look, you have said here many, many times, and you have demonstrated it,
Yes.
that you were for the rice farmers.
Yes.
I
That's right.
remember
I know.
going to you and all these
Yes.
places, Essequibo in particular,
That's
and
right.
you
That's
showed
right. Yes.
Essequibo that is predominantly
Yeah.
rice.
Right. That's right.
Look what has happened to them.
Yeah.
Look, we cannot forgive the AFC what they have done to the rice industry. I got a lot of facts here which I wanted to read you. This is the minutes of the rice board. And if you go through this, they took me off the rice board,
Why did you do
Mr.
that?
Sharma,
Why did you do that?
precisely because
Right.
I oppose things. Look, Mr. Jarvis, who was permanent secretary, wrote a letter when I was on the board. He wrote a letter appointing the current general manager, which is in breach of the GRDB Act. It's in breach. The permanent secretary wrote a letter to us telling us all as board members that he's appointed so-and-so person. You know what the procedure is? The procedure is that you send out a notice of a vacancy, and people apply and they shortlist them. And the board members are the ones who actually do the shortlisting, and the board members are the ones who appoint and select the general manager. So we have got to, Mr. Sharma, stop this nonsense that is going on. That I agree 100% with Mr. Green. I've been saying this long ago, that the institutions of power, that is when you have permanent secretaries like that, he must be sacked. Look, he was sent on embattled PS, now heads foreign funded project.
Okay.
Embattled, you know what that word means?
Okay.
The man was sent on administrative leave according to employment law. And then Mr. Holder has re-employed him in another post.
Okay.
And you know what the salary is? Let me read it from the papers. The salary is
That's his name.
Mr. George Jarvis. The salary is $3,000 per month. Have a look at it, please, if you think I'm lying. Because
3,000
you want evidence.
Yeah, 3,000 is a
Yes.
month.
The question is, if a man is sent on administratively, please help me with this.
Yes.
Would he still be getting a salary?
It depends on the nature.
Okay.
He can go and leave
Yes.
and get a salary.
Good.
But I find it strange
But
to
when,
appoint him to another
but when
position.
he is on administrative leave and he was sent
Because you have someone.
based
You sure?
on an invest, I'm reading it to you. Look. According
It's
to
a
documents, seen by Cultural News, Jarvis, a permanent secretary who served consecutive administrations, he was appointed by Robert Prasad.
Yes.
Was ordered by the Ministry of the Presidency to proceed on open inverted commas, all leave,
Yeah.
with immediate effect on February 27, 2017. Ipso facto, the man was suddenly appointed to this position. What did you call that?
3,000 US.
What do you call that? If
Mr.
that
Green,
is,
give me some comment, please.
Something
Yeah.
seems very wrong.
Yeah, so along now,
And it's the kind of thing I would like to ask him.
Yes, yes.
That is why you have the result of 20